Okay, today we are tackling something that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us: personal cybersecurity. In a world where our entire lives are pretty much stored online, knowing how to protect yourself isn't just a smart idea, it is absolutely essential. So let's dive in and start building your digital defense. And if you're wondering why this is so critical, well, just look at this number: $186 million. That's how much Australians have already lost to online scams in 2024. I mean, that's just a staggering amount, and it really shows you how real and how costly this threat is. The stakes are incredibly high. So you might be sitting there thinking, you know what? I'm careful. I'm pretty diligent. This isn't going to happen to me. But here's the thing. Even the most tech-savvy people out there can have their security compromised without ever knowing it. It's not about being perfect, it's all about being prepared. So let's start with the threat itself, because this isn't some abstract thing that happens to other people. The digital threat is very real, it's happening right now, quietly, in the background of our daily lives. And the consequences can be just devastating. We're talking about everything: your money, your personal identity, maybe even your job. And not to mention irreplaceable things like your photos and private messages. Now, that's a scary thought for sure, but the good news is you can absolutely fight back, and we're going to show you exactly how, step by step. So, where do we even begin? Well, we start with a quick digital checkup. The very first thing you need to figure out is if your data has already been compromised in a past data breach. And there is a fantastic tool for this. It's actually super simple. You just go to the website haveibeenpwned.com. That's pwned.com. Type in your email address, and it scans this massive database of known data breaches to see if your account details have ever been leaked. Trust me, it can be a real eye-opener. Now, if you do get a hit, the first rule is don't panic. Just act. Your number one priority is to immediately change the password for that specific account. And, this is key, if you've used that password anywhere else, especially for important things like banking or your main email, you have to change those too. It's a fast, powerful way to take back control. And, that whole idea of changing passwords, it leads us perfectly into our next section: how to fortify them in the first place. This is your absolute first line of defense, and honestly, it's where a lot of people make some really simple, avoidable mistakes. Okay, this kind of flips the old idea of a strong password on its head. We all used to think that complicated symbols were the secret, like the example on the left. But it turns out security experts now recommend a long passphrase, like rabbit, cheese, pencil, #3 Outlook. Why? Because it's way longer, much harder for a computer to crack, but a whole lot easier for you to remember. Length beats complexity every time. And here are some of the absolute worst offenders. Seriously, if you see any of your passwords on this list or anything even close to them, please do yourself a huge favor and change them today, right now. These are the very first ones hackers try simply because they are so incredibly common. So, how in the world are you supposed to manage dozens of unique strong passphrases? Well, you don't have to. A password manager does it for you. It's basically a secure app, a digital vault, that creates and saves a different, complex password for every single one of your accounts. All you have to do is remember one master password to unlock the whole thing. It is an absolute game changer. Now, for your most important accounts, I'm talking banking, email, government services, you need another layer of protection. It's called multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Think of it like a second lock on your digital front door. Even if a scammer somehow steals your password, they can't get in without that second code from your phone. Turn it on, everywhere. Okay, so once you've set up your defenses, the focus shifts to daily vigilance. Think of these next tips as your everyday shield against that constant barrage of online threats. It's about building good habits. This quote might sound a little extreme, but it's the perfect mindset for modern digital life. Scammers are absolute experts at sounding legitimate, so a healthy dose of skepticism isn't paranoia. It's your best defense against getting tricked. Really, this all just comes down to being a little suspicious. Never click links in unexpected texts or emails. If you get an email that's supposedly from your bank, don't click the link inside it. Instead, open your browser and type in the bank's address yourself. It's such a simple habit, but it stops the vast majority of phishing scams dead in their tracks. Your shield also has to include your physical devices: your phone, your laptop, your tablet. First, lock them with a password or a fingerprint. Second, install good antivirus software. And most importantly, make sure you enable the remote lock and wipe function. Think of it as a self-destruct button for your data. If your device ever gets lost or stolen, it ensures no one else can get in. Oh, this is such an easy one to forget, but it is so, so important. Software updates aren't just about getting cool new features, they often contain critical security patches that close loopholes hackers have discovered. Honestly, turning on automatic updates is one of the single best things you can do for your security. Set it and forget it. And when you're just browsing the web, keep an eye out for these simple signs of safety. That little padlock and HTTPS in the address bar, that means your connection is secure and encrypted. And always double-check the spelling of websites to make sure you haven't been sent to a fake, lookalike site designed to steal your info. Now, let's zoom out for a second. All of these personal tips are part of a much bigger picture. The reality is, we are all on the front lines of a massive global cyber battle that is getting bigger and more complex every single day. And the financial impact is just staggering. The average self-reported cost for an individual hit by cybercrime is over $30,000. For small and medium businesses, it's even higher. This isn't some small niche problem. It is a major economic threat to everyone. So when we break down the most common crimes against individuals, a really clear pattern emerges. Identity fraud is number one, affecting over a quarter of victims. And this is why protecting your personal information is so critical. Because scammers don't just want a quick buck. They want your entire identity. So who's fighting this battle? Well, the truth is, not enough people. This number, 5,000, that's the shortfall of cybersecurity workers needed in Australia every single year. The demand for cyber defenders is just exploding as our world gets more and more connected. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Protecting yourself is the crucial first step. But as technology continues to weave itself into every corner of our lives, the bigger question remains, who is going to build the shields and guard the walls of our digital future? It's a challenge, really, for all of us to think about.